Hello and welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is A Cereal Box, and this is not quite Axis and Allies. If you're watching the long-running series, that is me playing super hard mode as the Axis and not invading Russia, worst idea ever. I put myself through so much hell on that campaign. Uh, Basically what you know is that one's a long running one, and I like Axis and Allies, so I kind of want to play. I don't know if I'm going to air this at the same time or after, but let me walk into this premise. I don't know what my title for this is going to be yet, but basically, playing as the Allies is harder than playing as the Axis because land forces and the Japanese building factories in Asia and pushing into Russia is something that the Axis are able to do pretty well. So in the past, I've hamstrung, said, we're not going to cross the Atlantic, we're going to fight them in different ways. This time, I said, let's give the Germans and the Japanese a bid of $12. So they could go as high as a bomber to as diverse as 4 infantry on the front line in West Russia if they wanted. And this is the AI set to hard, mind you. So what did the Germans do? They put an artillery piece in Eastern Europe. Okay. They did an artillery piece in Western Europe, and they did an artillery piece in Ukraine. I don't know what that means for me, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to blow up the stuff in Ukraine, and Western European artillery is probably not going to be that valuable unless they try and put it in Karelia with a transport, but they could have just walked it in from Eastern Europe. I don't know. Ask the AI, don't ask me. And then the Japanese put their artillery in Borneo. Like, are they planning on invading Russia or, sorry, Australia with it? Would it be better in New Guinea or East Indies? Like, why? Why not on the mainland? Then they bought an artillery piece in East Indies. Again, is it for Australia? And then they put an infantry instead of an artillery piece, oddly enough, in Kwangtung, which, if it was an artillery piece, it would really support the battle into China and alleviate the need of all their fighters from swarming it. So I don't really know. AI is going to AI, but either way, they start with 12 extra bucks for both Axis powers. And if you know anything about playing the Axis in this game, is early on you're powerful and you want to crush Russia quickly, and the Allies need to buy time, buy time, buy time until they can fight back. So, as Russia, I've been really keen on buying a bomber turn one, though because of the added pressure of all this artillery, maybe not going to be good enough. Generally speaking, I like to attack here with both fighters, at least one piece of our tank, and then this charges in. The problem is with the extra artillery piece, they have enough that I'm actually kind of scared to the point where I'll send in another tank. And that definitely leaves me way too short stacking on everything else. So we're going to go all into this battle, but with mostly infantry on attack, like these two, like artillery is 2 attack plus an infantry gets 2 attack, so it's a net of +3. They're defending at 2 hits, and I'm attacking at about 2 hits, except I'm taking a lot of hits on my infantry, which I don't have enough of. It'd be fun to pressure Japan, but I think I'm going to go try and alleviate pressure this way with those forces. And we're just going to back up, excuse me, into Yakut to have a little bit of a defense there while these guys move into Xinjiang. Leaving some infantry in Novobrizh gives you a little bit of flexibility. I'm not sure what the Japanese are going to do just yet, but it's going to be bad. And then we'll move this sub to this battleship just in case they try and do the fighters and bombers to kill this as quickly as possible. Anyways, let's see what we get from this. And we are going to be short stacking against a really powerful Germany. We got lucky on our marginal roll. As always, I'm playing, or never mind, they got lucky. Um, I'm playing on low luck, as always. Then we're going to remain. Wow, okay, I super over I mean, we hit on both our partials, so I really don't think I needed 3 tanks there, but apparently I'm crazy. And we did okay there. And we can land our planes in Caucasus. Okie dokie. 4 dudes here and a bomber. So, could the Germans, if they wanted to, take out our stack and our stack, and then basically Russia would have next to nothing left on the board? Yeah, basically, that is the fact. I don't know if that's what they do. If I was them, I don't know, 3 infantry into West Russia. Okay, they chose not to do it and play it safe, but they are attacking the battleship. So I'm going to remain with it's saying British sub, but it's actually the Russian one. Because if I can tank the hit from their sub, or hit on a 1, that's huge! That's huge! So what happened there is their sub missed, which I was going to use my sub to tank the hit instead of our battleship. And then we hit rolling back on a 1 and killed their sub. So they lost the sub, which means when my battleship hit, which it did, they had to take it on a plane because their sub had died to the super unlucky roll of our 1. Like, this actually happened to me when I was playing with some friends of mine, where there's like 3 of us that come back time and time again to play. And he was, I don't want to say salty, because he, like, you know, took it on the chin like a good sport, but damn was it ever rough to lose multiple planes sinking a battleship. And we've been so lucky so far that we might get away with it. Because we are going to, oh, never mind. They got lucky and hit our battleship twice on the first roll. So they hit us on a 1 as well? I'm not sure. Rolling out a 4. I'm not sure why it was. Anyways, I'm going to remain with our sub, but it doesn't matter because the bomber blows up the rest of that. We got lucky and killed the German plane. So the Germans are losing planes left and right. And then they landed their bomber in Norway, which there's a 0% chance that I'm going to let them get away with that. My God, what mad lads they are. So the big problem I have is that I need to get a couple of destroyers because look at this. And I need to get an aircraft carrier. And you have just enough to get an aircraft carrier and 2 destroyers. I don't think I need 2 destroyers, but the problem is that if the Germans attack me with 2 subs, actually, you know, we've killed the German Air Force, okay? There's 2 planes in the Balkans, a plane down here, and a bomber that we're going to kill. If we put a fleet down in C-Zone 3, his battleship won't be able to get it. In fact, I could do it in C-Zone 6. And no, I can't because I need to protect my convoy. Basically, what I'm trying to say, though, and struggling to articulate, is his fleet is not going to be enough to threaten my fleet as long as I land my fighters on it. So I can immediately get into investing in another transport. So that's cool. We're going to bring, just because I can't get it later, I am going to use a tank and an infantry. And I'm going to use a bomber and a fighter and a fighter here. So we are going to blow up. These subs are not part of this battle because they can't be targeted by our planes because we don't have a destroyer, and a submarine cannot hit a plane with a torpedo. We're going to land stuff here. This bomber's going to die. We're going to get Norway. I'd love to take Western Europe because it's undefended and it would maybe move some of the Germans back, especially because they can just take Norway and it's worth less. But we got to kill this bomber. If they're going to start the game with 12 extra bucks, which is basically a bomber, we need to punish them wherever we can. Western Canada, I always move into Alaska. And then down here, what do we do? What do we do? because there's a nasty Japanese fleet. I don't think, like, there's only 3 German planes, so I'm pretty sure if I bring my fleet into the Suez Canal, I'll be safe. It just sucks that I don't have any offensive operations I can do. And I don't like giving up India without a fight immediately. I might be able to slow Japan's advance by blowing up this transport. It's a pretty nifty move. You blow up the transport and then you land in China. The problem is that with only 2 planes and 2 infantry, Japan will kill it for very low cost. I just think this can hold. I just hate giving them China on turn 1. But I like moving my fleet into the Suez. And I can land the other plane on it. Or, no, I think what I need to do is move away. Move over, move over. So now we have a decent little fleet. We technically threaten the sea zone of India, so if they want to try and pull some quick India, we can turn around. And this tank could even blitz to India. If Germany moves into Anglo-Egypt, we can counterattack. We have a fighter squadron. And there's no way that 3 fighters can take out my fleet of an aircraft carrier, a destroyer, a cruiser, and 2 planes. So that's pretty amazing. Then there's only this stuff left. You got to go to New Guinea because Sea Zone 47 is amazing for a British sub. And then I'll move this transport this way. It's probably going to be sunk, but pulling away ships or planes from this stack is more useful than letting this sub come over here a lot of the time. Well, that's not true. Depends on if you want to fight over Hawaii, but I'm not sure or convinced that I want to bring the Americans that way. So that's it done. And Sea Zone 6. We blew it up and they did not hit us back. That's a huge deal because I would have lost my bomber. Or chosen to lose my bomber. They did hit me on a 1 on the defense with their bomber there, though. So they got unlucky for something that could have killed a plane. And then they got lucky and killed an infantry. So good for you. And then 2 of these planes are here. I'm going to end the movement phase, and they won't die because I'm deploying a fleet, an aircraft carrier that can protect them. And then the Germans with 2 subs do not have enough. Both subs would die in the attack, and they'd only kill my destroyer, which is a good thing for me. Plus, I can use the Russian sub to cover off on that. And there's Pearl Harbor. He is attacking India. I'm wondering if he's going to lose a plane to the AA gun. He did. That's a big deal. Now, the problem is that I was kind of thinking about using my planes for that. But, I don't know. Because, like, the Japanese... Oh, they did keep their fleet nearby. Because I'm thinking I can turn this fleet around. I'll turn this fleet around and park it in 35, unload these 2 infantry into India with a tank blitzing across, and now all of a sudden Japan has an issue with what they're going to do. And with this fleet operating 35 with a sub, all of a sudden the Royal Navy is actually a danger to the Japanese. But likely the Germans are going to take Anglo-Egypt, and that's an issue, so I don't know. How do we deal with this? 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't actually have a way of dealing with this German thing. Usually what I would have done is with the British, if you build your aircraft carrier here, American planes can go 1, 2, 3, attack it, and then land here. And this, bomber can go 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3 back. So with the 2 planes and the cruiser, you can sink the battleship very easily. Right now, though, it's not really doing anything, so I don't care. You landed a plane in Wake Island so that you could move an aircraft carrier over here? Oh my god. This is a hard buy for the Americans. Like, what the heck do you need? Like, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my time here. And I can't imagine not attacking this fleet. Battleship comes over. You have a fighter in Hawaii, and you have a fighter here. You know, that's basically 2 guaranteed hits. They're getting 1 back if they submerge their sub. Technically 2 if they're really lucky. So with a bomber, a battleship, and 2 planes, you sink that in no time. You don't even need it if you use the sub, but... So, bomber, 2 planes, this is coming over all of a sudden. Am I going to support that fleet anymore? Probably. Am I doing a Pacific or an Atlantic campaign? Maybe I'll try and do the dreaded both. You throw down an aircraft carrier with a plane over here. You already have 2 convoys that aren't going anywhere for a turn. And then over here on this side, get another aircraft carrier because we have a bunch of planes that are going to need landing spots or something. In fact, I could move the planes back here instead of Hawaii, which is what I'll do. They can only counterattack me in Hawaii with like a plane, like 2 planes. So, okie dokie, let's artichoke or something. I don't know. I don't know why the world is as cruel as it is. So let's punish the Axis. Excuse me, not this plane, this one. Whereas this can go here, this bomber, just because I want this to be a very clean and quick battle. I don't want to lose anything more than the sub. I kind of like the destroyer coming this way, but no, it needs to go here to defend the aircraft carrier because they could move that sub in to do a quick attack. Move 2 infantry this way and 2 infantry onto that boat. Well, I'm gonna wait for the non-combat for that. These Americans are gonna boldly run away. Yeah. So there's not many more Americans to move because all of this is kind of crap. I'm leaving Alaska. Let the British defend it. There's reasons for that, but it's not really important, so I'm not going to go into it. Let's just hit done. I'm going to non-combat this boat into this sea zone to deploy into Hawaii, but it gets messy if you try and do it at the same time. So we're taking a hit on the battleship, and then everything got sunk because they submerged their sub. And then we'll bring our transport over to here, so now it's defended. Everything's nice. These 2 planes will go to Sea Zone 55. And generally, what I'm looking to do is conquer the Solomons next turn. Because the Solomons is a huge waypoint into going after Borneo and East Indies and stuff. You're probably not going to conquer mainland Japan, but by having an American fleet, you're going to make it sketchy for them. And movement. You get an aircraft carrier, and you get an aircraft carrier, and you get another plane. Whew! And let's do 2 rounds in this first episode. The Russians are at a huge deficit of manpower. They could use a single tank, though. I can't imagine. Like, I don't know if the tank's actually useful or not, but we're going to do it. So here we want to move forward with 2 men and a bomber. That's nice. That's an auto win and auto kill. I want to put a guy up here and leave a man behind. And then here is a big stack of dudes. It's hitting us 1.5 times. So if I send in 3 guys and 2 planes, they could kill most of this in the first round. With an artillery piece, I'm hitting 2 times in the first round, and then they hit me again in the next round. So let's do the math. If they're lucky, they kill 2 of my guys in the first round. I killed both their infantry. In the second round, they could kill 1 of my last infantry, and I should kill the last 2 of them on a 4. But if I don't, I still get another chance with my artillery, which is guaranteed. And if they hit me on the tank's half hit a second time after I missed on my 4 the one time, then I won't get Ukraine. And that's going to have to be fine. So, that's what it is. Let's move Russian infantry to Yakut. I like having a big enough stack here that when I land my bomber in Russia, it goes 1, 2, 3, it could support the 6 infantry into something nasty. Though, looks like they're going to blow through Buryatia pretty easily. I'll move a guy to Persia as well. Maybe I'll move more in the non-combat, but we'll see. So Belarus is auto. It's just a question of whether we lose a man. And then Ukraine, we hit. No, they hit on the half hit. We remain. Then they didn't get 2 of us. And we got them on our 4 or 5. So that's really cool. We move him back. We move him back. Tank into Caucasus. I can't tell if moving 2 I think I need to keep my infantry close by. Well, I'm putting 8 infantry and I'll have a tank, so never mind. Putting 3 infantry here really tells Japan or India to screw off. And then this sub can go here, so the Germans definitely can't attack there because I now have another hit point. You need 4 infantry, and you need infantry and a tank. If the Germans are bold enough to step into West Russia with their army, I can hit them with both and all my planes and really annihilate their army group center, which is what happened in real life. So they're attacking me everywhere. So they're being pretty aggressive with their tanks. They have a huge, like, what is this? What are you doing? What? What? I'm gonna kill you, right? Because I can attack you with a lot and take Western Europe. I'm not sure now, actually. What is this? Because I have 1, 2 guaranteed hits. He could hit me back, destroying my bomber. It's kind of an annoying battle to do, but I can attack Western Europe without blowing them up. Though it's probably better to take Norway anyway. So I definitely need a ship, which is going to be a battleship. And then I'm going to get 3 men and a tank so that I have a full load of things to put across the channel next time. With a battleship, he's done fighting me, that's for sure. So you guys come across. That alone is basically enough. But if I add this in, it's done. And then this British bomber. Oh, he attacked me in Anglo-Egypt and failed. So I could attack this with the bomber. And it's just a question of whether or not I'd rather have India or this spot here. Because I could do this, right? I could bring this guy over. He'll die and I'll kill something. That's kind of no good. But that sucks. I really want to take India with this fleet, but instead I'm going to go over here. And I'm going to drop it in Libya and drive this guy over. It's gonna just have to be the Russians that bail me out. And then with 2 of this, it's kind of guaranteed, but not quite. Just trying to figure out what to do with this bomber. I guess it comes over to Russia or Caucasus. It's more flexible down here. In Yakut, it could be good, because then it could bomb Manchuria. Let's just go to Russia for now. No, let's go to Yakut, because now the Japanese will go, and the bomber's safe. then even if I leave it undefended, I get to move it before the Japanese go again. So it could bomb Manchuria and then fly back home. And be annoying because if they leave these convoys here, they could sink all the convoys. Which, if we know the AI, they're kind of bold. So they died there, and then they died here. We're losing some operational losses or whatever, but like, we are cleaning up the Axis real good. We just took out Rommel. He's done. Done. Oh, that fleet, that fleet was moved down there to kill my one thing. Oh, I should have used the sub. The sub, they don't have a destroyer, so this sub's gonna go here. It could sneak into the bay. It could threaten their aircraft carriers. Can it go even closer? I think I want it to be... I just don't think the Philippines is better than here. So, done. Sorry, planes, please go back to the aircraft carrier or you will fall out of the sky and die. So with the battleship rebuild and this stuff here, the Luftwaffe will not recover from their operations at all, and we will win. They're attacking me. I will remain with my sub. I forgot that they'd have a sub left over, to be honest. I'm going to take the hit on my sub, because now the Air Force is going to hit my battleship. And they got me. And I didn't kill one of their planes? Seriously? No, I did. Okay. So they lost a fighter. Yeah, that kind of sucks for me. Why are they moving their army to Okinawa? 1, 2... 1, 2... Kind of annoying. Kind of annoying. Last round of the episode, what are we going to do? I'd like to attack the frickin' stuff, but... I'm afraid of the Germans. Like, they have so much that can attack the Caucasus. And yet, here I am thinking about attacking India. And I'm like, well, if they attack Caucasus with 1, 2, 3, 4... Or, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 9 tanks and an artillery, and they could send in their planes, that's an issue. Though we can probably blow up these two armies. It just depends. I don't think we can do India. Wee bit of a pipe dream that one is. Okay, what are the Americans doing, though? We gotta think. Like, I really wanted to do this whole Hawaii campaign. The Germans do not have an air force, so we can go into Algeria with this stack here. And that's fine. It's super fine. Like, it's hilariously fine. So it's really just an exercise in building up fleet capacity over here, which I think you need a battleship. I think you need a couple of transports. And if I'm going to have 2 transports, I may as well have a unit with a tank. So then the 2 transports can bring those over. We can reinforce with the Hawaiians in the future. That's cool as she goes. Do I move this fleet? Probably not. Well, maybe... I don't know. They sunk my battleship. I didn't like that. It just sucks when it takes so many turns to get the Americans into action. But that's kind of the whole thing. Their war economy is a continent away. So this is nice, and I could put this into Europe or something in the future, but it's a very small stack that's just meant to help tidy things up. I didn't think the Germans would abandon Africa so easily. You need to be in the Caucasus to help defend, quite frankly. This bomber could go all the way to Yakut, but then they're committed to protecting it. Instead, it's going to go all the way. Norway would be cool, but the Germans can blitz it with tanks and stuff, so it's just going to go here. The Germans still have a convoy. Like, they could have attacked the UK. I didn't even realize that. We need to kill that How did that not die? I attacked them and destroyed their destroyer, but because the subs were still there, the game thought I retreated without killing the thing. Wow. Maybe I hit retreat instead of remain or something. I'm not sure. But that was bad. I don't think there's any actual moves to make as the Americans here, so let's just hit done. Dude, I bought a dude and a tank when I really could have bought 2 tanks. I already had 2 dudes. I feel dumb. I've never done Americans into 2 oceans. It's not good. You really want to commit to one or the other, but I mean, when the AI is going to AI as hard as they do, that's what they're going to get. I'm going to get cocky or something. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this first episode into the new series, and I will see you next time. Ciao.